Welcome back, everyone. We're glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. Okay, we have to talk about something really interesting. I'd never heard of this before. It's rage booking, and we're talking about travel and what's behind this, why more and more Americans are deciding to do that. So joining us now, we have Lauren Gumport with Faye Travel Insurance to talk about the big picture here. So Lauren, good morning, and thank you so much for being on with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Okay, so we have to dive into this. You know, travel has entered, I guess, what we can call the burnout economy. So what does that really mean, Lauren?
Yeah, so according to our latest data here at Faye, Americans are booking trips out of burnout, frustration, and emotional exhaustion. And this trend of rage booking or ragecations that you were mentioning, it refers to somebody rapidly and impulsively booking a trip in a fit of anger or frustration, with the goal really of relieving stress and feeling better. So we have half of American travelers saying they currently feel burnt out. The 5 reasons are financial anxiety, the economy, politics, the news, hopefully not this news segment, of course, and their job.
Yeah.
And then nearly 1 in 3 say that taking a vacation is their best way to handle burnout, ranking that higher than meditation, exercise, or taking time off work. And I don't know about you, but I feel like impulsively booking a trip will make me feel better compared to a yoga class.
You were exactly right. So like it kind of makes sense, you know, when you really look at what this means. It truly does. Another big takeaway from this I thought was so interesting, Lauren, is that it's the younger travelers that are doing this the most and feeling just kind of the most burnout. So why are Gen Z and millennials reporting higher levels of stress compared to like boomers?
Yeah, well, I mean, millennials are the most likely to rage book. And I would say, you know, in terms of the study and the results, it says that 83% of those who booked a ragecation, it helped them feel better. The average traveler says it takes them about 4 days into a vacation to start feeling better from burnout. So these aren't just weekend trips. It looks like we're going for a minimum of 4 days, which sounds great to me. And in terms of why they're feeling that way, I would go back to those 5 themes: finances, the economy, politics, the news, and their job. So they're seeking a little bit of respite through vacation.
That's so interesting. And, you know, looking at the numbers here, we're talking about 83% of people who did rage book ended up saying it made them feel better. So, like, maybe they're on to something if 83%, that's a huge number, which is interesting. So why do you think that travel has become such an emotional outlet for so many people?
Yeah, I think that travel provides a form of escapism because there are other reasons that these survey takers stated that they took a vacation or booked a vacation: breakup, losing or quitting a job, avoiding bad weather or seasonal sadness. But then also on the positive side, celebrating a personal achievement, or even booking a trip after they received an unexpected sum of money, such as a bonus or a refund. So again, I think people are using it as a way to escape either something a bit negative or to celebrate something a little bit positive. But I would say that when booking any vacation, even if you're in a fit of rage, obviously protect your trip. Things go wrong. We've seen the government shut down, what that did to flights. Make sure you have whole trip coverage and 24/7 support. That is my top advice.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was actually going to ask you, you know, what are some safeguards that we can put in place if we're going to rage book? And I'm so glad you mentioned travel insurance. So that is something to look into. And I'm guessing that that's also where you come into play here with Faye Travel Insurance, right?
Yeah, so Faye offers whole trip coverage along with that 24/7 support and companionship from real humans. But we also provide super speedy payments on approved claims and common travel hiccups straight to your phone's wallet. It's actually one of the reasons that Faye was just named a Time Best Invention of 2025. Bet you didn't expect me to say that about travel insurance today.
Right.
That's our award-winning app. So I would say get to booking, even if it's rage booking, domestic or internationally, you must safeguard your travels.
Of course. So let's take a look ahead here, looking into 2026 at just what travelers are prioritizing. I'm going to read this. I thought this was super interesting, the kinds of trips that people want to take. So they're prioritizing connection. Budget-friendly trips are commonly searched for, nature-based escapes. So, I mean, what do you think? And does it maybe speak to the bigger picture on preferences that travelers have? Because, you know, those are the trends. That's what people want to do. Those are the trips they want to take.
Yeah, I would say that those themes showcase that travelers are not prioritizing luxury trips in the next year. And again, that could be because of economic uncertainty, job uncertainty. I know that the top destinations in terms of what they're spending, the spend for holiday trips has decreased 40% compared to last year's average spend. So that's quite interesting. You're seeing more budget conscious travelers in the year ahead.
So for someone who's watching this right now and they're like, yeah, I could definitely get behind this. Maybe I've done it, but didn't know that there was a word for it. What would you say some things to keep in mind before they click confirm on that rage trip that they just booked?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So if you're rage booking, first of all, I already said it, make sure that you protect your trip with travel insurance. Obviously, I'm biased. I think it should be Faye. If you're rage booking in a moment of emotional uncertainty or anger or frustration, make sure that if you change your mind, you won't burn a hole in your pocket. So maybe a free cancellation, no prepayment type of hotel, or a flight that you are able to change. Maybe that means paying a little bit more for your.
That's going to send its feed to Facebook.
Uh-oh. You froze up on us, Lauren. I'm going to give it just a second to see if, okay, we didn't catch the back part of what you, say that last part one more time because you were frozen on the screen.
Sure thing. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I would say that if you're booking these trips and it's in a moment of emotional uncertainty, that you should probably go for refundable, no prepayment trip type.
Okay, so that's some important information for those rage bookers out there, or soon to be rage bookers as we get closer to the holidays. Folks may be wanting to hit confirm then. What would you say to someone who just assumes that they have travel coverage, travel insurance coverage on their credit card? Because I think some folks could be end up getting disappointed if they're solely counting on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's actually a common misconception when it comes to travel insurance. If you have a travel credit card, you might have some travel coverages on there, but they're fraught with a lot of limitations. The best thing that I can say to any traveler is go directly to a travel insurance provider for that holistic type of coverage, where your trip, as in your hotels, your flights, your luggage, and your health are all covered under the same policy.
Okay, so for someone watching right now and they're like, I need to learn a little bit more about this travel insurance, or maybe just want to look a little bit more into the research, because you guys killed it with this research that you did. Super interesting stuff that came out of that. So it was good to read. But where can they go for more info?
Yeah, so they can go to withfaye.com, WITHFAYE.com, to learn more and just to look at our coverage on our website, which we provide in plain English, unlike a lot of other travel insurance providers.
And of course, we certainly appreciate that. Lauren Gumport with Faye Travel Insurance. Lauren, thank you so much for checking in with us here in Atlanta. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.